Let's watch. Here we go. When did Warhammer painters get so good? Golden Demon then versus now. We got on the thumbnail 1988 to 2024. I mean, even the kits have changed over the years. I feel like the whatever they paint. Yeah, so a lot has changed. I bet.
I'm a gal that loves to have a gander at some beautifully painted Warhammer miniatures, so it only makes sense that I also love Golden Demon. I regularly attend it, occasionally
She's so
enter
cute.
it, and have even managed to scrape together a handful of finalist pins in my time. And then I painted those finalist pins, and then I entered Golden Demon with the finalist pins that I won for entering Golden Demon.
Wait, what? You can enter with the pin? Wait, what do you have to enter with? Like, what are the requirements? Like, do they have to be Warhammer related? She was one of the professional photographers for GW. Wow. Oh, there's different categories. Oh, so it has to be a GW product? Games Workshop product? Okay. So it is kit. Yeah, kits went from metal to resin to plastic. Okay, see, I didn't know that. I was like, is this like a custom thing? Like anything can go? Okay, so it has to be Games Workshop. Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, it depends on the category? Oh, is this not hosted by them? You can sculpt your own stuff, but you can't buy third party. Oh, as long as it's GW related. Okay, so it has to be related and you made it, it's fine, even if it's 3D printed or otherwise. Gotcha. Okay, makes sense. Thanks for clarifying.
Full of finalist pins in my time, and then I painted those finalist pins, and then I entered Golden Demon with the finalist pins that I won for entering Golden Demon. That's how much I like it. But most of all, I just genuinely love the spectacle of it all, and I love keeping up to date with all of the winners, finalists, and just the entries in general every single year. But over the years, and I think especially recently, I've noticed something change at Golden Demon. Both me and basically everybody with functioning eyeballs in the Warhammer community has noticed that recently the standard at these Golden Demon competitions has just been insanely high. Like every single year, it seems like—
Whoa! This has so much movement. Oh! Slayer Sword winner! It says, sheesh, what year is this from? Damn, what the? It's like a whole ass action scene. Tearing out the arm. Last year? This is crazy. Wow.
The artists are creating these Warhammer dioramas and pieces, which not only knock the previous year out—
Whoa, this one's also cool. I'm sorry, I keep pausing. I'm like, whoa, ogling these things. Pin is an official Games Workshop product, so it's legit. I see.
Park, but also stretch the limitations of what a miniature painting competition can actually be.
Yeah, the lighting was
Golden
crazy.
Demon didn't always look like this. In fact, the winning miniatures from the very first Golden Demons looked more like this.
Yeah, compared to now, they look a little silly, but they got their own style, you know? Back then, like, the painting used to be very different too, and like the artwork as well. I mean, I don't know. This was probably considered really good at the time. I don't know. Yeah.
More like this. And that got me thinking, how did we get to this point? Like, when and how did Warhammer painters start becoming so insanely good at painting Warhammer? So in this video, we are going to use some modern technology to dive back in time through the archives of Golden Demon's history to see what high-end miniature painting used to look like and track which painting styles and trends went in and out of fashion. And most importantly, try and work out just when and how Golden Demon painters got so good. Back in time, whoosh. Whoosh.
Sheesh. I can't wait to see. Yeah, I blame the Japanese model makers. They set the standard high. I mean, oh my god, I've seen some crazy models. Also, like, whenever they do, like, what was it? Was it One Fest in Japan? Like, where they get a lot of people that, like, have made garage kits to showcase them, and those things look insane as well. They look completely original. Oh, yeah. The best artists spending literally hundreds of hours making them. Yeah, think of all the time. Yeah, the paints themselves were also much worse. Yeah, see, like the kits and the paints have come a long way as well, you know? And with that, the technique has also changed, I think.
First First of all, I want to say a quick Happy New Year to everyone watching my
Oh,
channel
it's a
right
New Year
now
video?
in 2025. Happy New Year,
Happy New
everyone.
Year.
Happy 2025.
Yeah, NYAKAMA, Happy New Year! Yeah, woohoo! Where are the fireworks? It's combo of professional artists joining in and the internet making information a lot more available. Oh, that's true. The internet. We can also blame the internet. So many. See, even someone like me, I can just pull up a tutorial now and like learn how to like dry brush and like pre-shade or whatever.
2020 thrive. No, that sucks. I hope that everyone had at least a semi-restful-ish and nice holiday season. But also, if you've never watched my channel and you're new here, then hello and welcome. I like to make Warhammer, miniature painting, and general hobby content.
That's
and
me.
have a lot of fun doing it. So if you like what you see here today, please consider subscribing to my channel for more. And if you really like what you see here today, then you can support me over on my Patreon, which means that I will be able to make more videos like this for the rest of my life. I'm trapped here because of you. Thank you. But yeah, today we're
trapped in the rabbit hole of model kits, never getting out. Trapped for life.
going to be talking about Golden Demon, which, if you're not in the know, is a Warhammer miniature painting competition, or perhaps I should say the Warhammer miniature painting competition, held once or twice a year by Games Workshop themselves, where miniature painters from all over the world congregate to test their mettle against each other and walk away with either some neat Golden Demon trophies or the ultimate.
That's the trophy? Wait, yeah, I really like these display cases.
Each other and walk away with either some neat Golden Demon.
Yo, I mean, it's a literal Golden Demon. It looks like, is that painted or is it material just like metallic? I don't know. Yeah, looks cool, looks cool. I think the lighting's just making it look extra cool. Probably. I'm looking at the red on the side, right? I'm like, is that the lighting or is that like how it's painted? Oh, it's solid gold. No way. That would be so heavy. Plated most likely. It's metallic. Solid gold. It isn't.
Trophies or the ultimate prize.
I like this.
Slayer sword.
I like how they have the winner hold up the sword.
Demon trophies or the
right here in the picture. That's so great. Oh, the Slayer sword. I didn't think it was a literal sword, guys, when you were talking about the Slayer sword award. I was just like, oh, that's just a cool name. I didn't think you'd get an actual sword.
Ultimate prize, the Slayer sword. The competition was started in 1987 by the highly esteemed founding Games Workshop visionary himself, John Blanche. And whilst I can't speak for him, I think they came up with the idea of Golden Demon to kind of add a little bit of flavor and spice to their then quite small games days, which they held every single year. And because who doesn't want to see a bunch of extremely cool painted Warhammer miniatures in one place?
Yeah.
Like, a miniature painting competition held by Games Workshop just makes sense. From then on, Golden Demon has been held every single year in various countries and at various events.
I like all these pictures of them holding the sword. They're so happy.
Events and locations now not only located in the UK,
Chicago,
except over COVID
USA.
times when I think they had like 2 years where there were no Golden Demons held at all because we were all inside trying not to die instead.
Oh, COVID.
That was good. Rip. But like I said before, my mission today isn't to show you guys all of the latest winners of Golden Demon like I usually do. It is to dive back in time into the competition's history and look at some of the winners from the past. And to do that, we are going to be using the Golden Demon Compendium. The whole
I'm glad that Bovid didn't kill this event though. There were a lot of anime cons and stuff like that that died during Bovid, because, they couldn't hold the event. So I'm glad this one didn't. Oh.
Is an incredible resource created by some very talented fellow miniature painting and Golden Demon fans, which has a bunch of cool features which allow you to do stuff like track which people have won the most trophies, look at a singular artist's entries over their entire career, and even look at entries from every single Golden Demon ever held.
Whoa, the vintage ones look crazy.
And even look at entries from every single Golden Demon.
That is old. Oh my god, it's Shovel Knight! I'm gonna stop calling him that. Emuri, that's not Shovel Knight. More competition should gift swords. I agree, but they're probably expensive to make. Cool. They should give cool stuff. Yeah. Imagine getting on a plane and trying to explain to the TSA agent why you have a sword. It's fake, I promise. Oh, wait. I don't think it's actually sharp, right? Yeah. It's a trophy. It's my trophy. It's my battle trophy.
Demon ever held, which is exactly what we are going to be doing today. So let's start at the very beginning, at the very first golden demon held in 1987. And cue the 80s music.
Yeah, retro. It's
the first ever recorded golden demon was held on the
demon. Even the trophy looks so different. Look at him.
27th of June 1987 at the Victoria Leisure Centre in Nottingham, which funnily enough,
not gonna lie, he is very piss colored here. Thank God the golden demon trophy now is like gold, you know, like not real gold, but like, you know, it's got that finish, you know.
1987 at the Victoria Leisure Centre.
Yeah, it was a style at the time.
Which, funnily enough, is where I go swimming and is literally 1 minute from my studio. Like, I can basically see it from my window.
She
but
lives
despite
there.
the fact that the very first competition was held nearly 40 years ago, things like the categories and the general setup don't look that different from the modern golden demons that we see today. There were pretty similar categories like single miniature, diorama, but with some quirkier categories involved too, like banner, conversion, and dragon. And there were awards.
Monster is spelled as Monstar, like with an A. Interesting.
And there were awards, and yes, even a Slayer sword winner. Also,
never mind. I take it back about the demon.
And there
because these are metallic. Okay, I'm sorry, demon. I'm sorry I called you piss colored, and I didn't say you were ugly, but I did call you piss colored. Oh no, she's British. Hey, well, guess what's also British? Warhammer. If GW were an American company, it would be the Golden Assault Rifle. Good one.
Also, I initially missed this during my research, but the first Golden Demon actually had cash prizes. Like, you could win, I think, around £250 for placing. And in this article about the history of Golden Demon, written by Albert Moretto Font, it says that they gave away £3,000 in prize money at this very first event, which even by today's standards seems really wild. But the main difference, which is instantly visible apart from just the miniatures themselves looking a little bit older and more dated, is the painting style, which was winning big at this event. Let's start by looking at the single miniature category.
They're back. Yeah, the coloring style from back then, it looked just like well, I guess it might be because of the pictures too. They look even extra old. But like I remember when I was watching the Warhammer 40k lore videos and like Bricky would show like some really old art, like it would be colored like this, you know? It was just like how the color scheming worked back then, I think.
So we can kind of get a taste for what was going on. And as you can see, the style at the time was pretty
I like this
simple. And I mean that with all the love in my heart because I love these miniatures very, very much. And if you're sat there at home thinking, of course, these miniatures look a little bit weird and maybe basic because the image quality is kind of terrible and looks like it's about 40 years old.
It's crusty.
Because it is 40 years old. Then you are absolutely correct. So here is a bronze winning entry taken under a modern camera. And as you can see, it's very much the same style that I kind of described. It's good for sure, but it's safe to say that it probably wouldn't win a golden demon these days. But let's bear in mind that at
guys, the power creep is real.
Golden Demon, some participants have been painting miniatures, watching tutorials, and practicing their craft for maybe like 30 plus years. So it's no wonder that things have improved. Like, that's kind of obvious. But despite all that, I think that the main standout for this first year of Golden Demon was people's creativity in what was, at the time, a brand new hobby. We can see
£250 in 1987 is US $929 now. Inflation's crazy. Oh.
A lot of experimenting in freehanding, especially on the cloaks and the banners, and most of all, a lot of sculpting and converting of miniatures. And basically,
that looks like chocolate.
most of all,
This, like the brown parts, like spilling out, looks like a chocolate fountain. Oh.
a lot of sculpting and converting of miniatures. And basically it feels like
Maybe it
there's
is,
just
yeah.
a whole lot of fun and whimsy going on. Like, look at this Terminator banner. It's absolutely hilarious, but would be instantly disqualified at any modern Golden Demon.
They were being silly. Yeah, I mean, modern day it'll be like, bruh. You can't do that.
Overall winner of the very first Golden Demon was this stunning orc chieftain
Oh,
on
that
a
looks
dragon.
good.
And I think it's still absolutely wonderful in
Yeah.
every single way, and definitely set the tone for the rest of the entries which would come in the decade.
Wow, yeah, that winner is a good one. I like
Even
it.
by the second year of the Golden Demon competition being a thing, you can really see the Warhammer fans of the time catching that miniature painting competition bug. And
Yeah, you know it's amazing when it still holds up, you know? After like so many years.
the small, by today's standard, amount of people taking part in the competition
Coca-Cola!
started to get even wilder and more creative with
There's Coca-Cola in the back.
their entries. During the rest of the 80s, we see even more of these kind of big or very wacky conversion style
Coca-Cola.
entries winning the trophies. Like this iconic Chaos Mammoth entry, which I remember seeing years
Oh.
ago and absolutely loving. And
There's a mammoth in Chaos? I didn't know that. I'm not used to seeing animals in the Warhammer universe, I guess. Maybe it's because I haven't really seen any in the lore videos I was watching. Oh, it's Fantasy Chaos. Oh, so Warhammer Fantasy has the animals, but not 40k. Fantasy has a lot of monsters. Oh, okay. I gotta learn about fantasy, yeah. なるほど.
this immense chariot, which won the Slayer Sword in 1989.
Oh,
I feel
that's
like now
cool.
is a good time to talk about or maybe even introduce you to the concept of a Golden Demon meta, which in this instance
What's a meta?
essentially just means something which is impressive, currently in style, or is rated highly at the competitions, which then turns into kind of like trends that you see a lot of painters use in their entries.
Makes
Think
sense.
things like non-metallic metallics, plinths, and resin pours. Those
Wait, these are all kits? They look like illustrations. Wait.
entries. Think things
Yeah, we saw this at the beginning, but when you zoom in on it, it looks like an illustration. Oh,
like non-metallic metallics, plinths, and
wow. These are kit bashes.
resin pours.
What? Wow. Wow. So much movement.
Those are some pretty modern examples of what people refer to as Golden Demon metas. And
There's even more at the bottom of the resin. Yeah, tons of planning. Okay, so the kit bashes, they take kits and do a ton of extra diorama work. Ah, wowie.
through my research, I think I've
creative.
deducted that the very first Golden Demon meta was freehanding and banners. These elaborately painted banners and free-handed details that we see on these older miniatures, I think demonstrate that
I like this guy. It's just a little dude. He's holding up a big banner and it says Bugmans. Yeah, just a small little guy. You know, you guys know I like the small little guys. Yeah, he's just holding up a banner that says Bugmans. Oh, it's an ale? Oh, is that why it's on top of like a barrel? That's so cool.
whilst the miniature painting hobby in general was fairly new at the time, there were still a bunch of super talented artists with
Magic
pre-existing
beer.
talent who were eager to transfer their 2D painting skills onto 3D
Whoa, this looks kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Evangelion like? I don't know. Something about it.
miniatures, and this seems to be the way that they kind of flex that skill, which is awesome to see. But I think the thing that really like encapsulates the vibe of the 80s Golden Demons, even though there was only like 2 or 3, was just the strangeness of it all. Everything just seems to be really weird and wacky and funny and whimsical and creative, from the paint jobs to the conversions to the miniatures themselves. And like I've said before, that is probably because Warhammer itself was very young and still trying to work out what
Yeah.
it wanted to be, and both Games Workshop and its customers at the time were being influenced by all the other weird fantasy tropes going on.
there's
at the time as well.
there's a special dwarf category. It says the winner of the special dwarf category. So cute. Yeah, little guy. I like the little men. Oh, Elder, Synthwave Wraith Lord. Elders are very Evangelion in design. So there's like sort of a kind of similarity there. Yeah, sorry, my wee brain is like, ooh, looks like Evangelion.
So let's move on now from the fantasy-fueled fever dream, which was the 80s, and see what Golden Demon looked like during Warhammer's obnoxious childhood period, the 90s.
90s, here we go.
During the 90s, Games Workshop started to develop a pretty strong sense of identity, with 40k and Warhammer Fantasy now in full swing, and concepts like orcs, Eldar, and Space Marines beginning to look like concepts that we would recognize today. But how did this shift into a more thought-out and rigid set of IPs affect our Golden Demon artists and the competition in general? Because time...
Also, yo, wait, I've seen something like this before. Yeah. What? It's like the fleshy look. Nurgle Predator, yeah. That's really cool. It just looks so organic, you know? Oh.
Time and the mindsets of people don't really reset when the clock rolls over into a new decade. We're still seeing a lot of that weird, busy, heavily kit-bashed and hand-sculpted wackiness that we saw in the 80s.
This guy looks wacky.
And good, because I absolutely adore this era of miniature painting. However, as we start to move into the early competitions of the 90s, we do see something very subtle start to change. There's less banners and more Space Marines. Nice, clean, and neatly painted Space
It's getting that kind of like more mechanical look, I think.
Marines. And I don't know what happened in this year, but it feels like in 1994 specifically, something just clicked and all of the entries started to look kind of, well, like 90s Warhammer. The focus was no longer on these green and brownish fantasy tones and free-handed sepia banners with an almost painterly style, but now on these iconic bold primary colors with intensely bright highlights and the stark visual contrast that we all associate with 90s Games Workshop. And I think that the 40k category in the 90s seems to be the one pushing the participants away from the style that we saw in the late 80s. We see a lot more of this crisper, cleaner style with smooth gradients and sharp edge highlights in this category.
Wait, yeah, is this a Tyranid? Wait, back, yeah, is this a early Tyranid? I was wondering what this was. I was like, how is it? Oh no, sorry, this is Elder. Okay, this is Elder. Is this? Wait, which one's a Tyranid? Oh, this is the Tyranid. okay, yeah. This is the Tyranid. Still looks freaky. He kind of looks like he's wearing clothes. Not gonna lie. OG Screamer Killer. They remade this one a few years ago, yeah? That's a Screamer Killer. It just got a new model in 2023. Oh, what's the new model? Let me see. Screamer Killer 2023. I need to compare this. It looks completely different. Holy shit. Look at this comparison. I just grabbed whatever image was on Google, but this is a comparison. Yeah, he looks so goofy back then. Yeah, this one looks like, holy shit, like the color scheme makes it look even scarier, I think. What do you mean? It looks the exact same? Oh, okay, might be, yeah. Identical. Twinsies.
Highlights and
be careful who you make fun of in high school. Oh, damn.
Edge highlights in this category specifically. And most importantly, already by 1997, a full decade after the very first Golden Demon took place, even though a lot of it happened subtly over time,
Space Wolves Command Squad, cool. The guy's like 5 pounds of lead. Oh.
think we can already see a massive improvement in the quality of the entries themselves. But whether it's because the heavy metal painters were setting the trend, or by this time Games Workshop had produced at least one book on how to paint miniatures, or because people had had 10 years to sit at home with no internet and practice miniature painting, throughout the 90s we keep seeing this bold and saturated style progress and become more refined and perfected by the painters. But there's still nothing—
You versus the guy she tells you not to worry about.
Nothing in the 90s which looks anything like the gritty, realistic style that we see in a lot of modern Golden Demons. So let's try and work out when that started happening and move into one of my favorite eras of Games Workshop history, the noughties.
Here we go!
At the beginning of the noughties, Games Workshop was a pretty well-established high street staple, and everyone either knew, had, or were the nerdy friend who painted Warhammer, so Games Workshop was kind of becoming a household name. And you can see—
Why are they called the naughties? Oh. Also, I feel like Emuri dayon. Am I interrupting? Well, too bad. Did you know that only like 4% of you guys are subscribed? I would appreciate if you guys subscribe because it would bring me great joy and motivation. Yeah, please subscribe. Thank you. The early 2000s had a lot of good stuff, even for like anime and games.
See that reflected by the fact that Games Workshop events were just getting bigger and bigger.
Whoa,
as by the early 2000s, they'd gone from these small fests held at local leisure centers to full-blown dedicated games days held at massive venues. But this new rise in Games Workshop's popularity added a new element to Golden Demon specifically, which is now part of every single competition, and that is that Golden Demon became an international competition. Using this cool—
Oh, not is another word for zero. What? Zero equals not, so double zeros is knots. Is this a British thing? Or am I just like, I mean, I could just be very, very bad at vocab, but oh wow, I didn't know that. Thanks for letting me know.
Feature on Golden Demon Compendium, you can literally see exactly when more and more people from outside of the UK started to travel to the UK just to enter Golden Demon.
Oh, it's very British?
And if you're already a fan of Golden Demon, then you will know that those Europeans kick our ass every single year.
Just British things.
This is when that started happening, so that's fun. But as early as the year of the new millennium itself, something starts to change at Golden Demon.
Jungly.
And no, I don't mean that the image quality of the entries got a little bit higher, though that is a very welcome addition to this video. No, I mean the painting style. Because during this era at Golden Demon, things do a complete 180 from the 90s and start to get grimdark. There's actual weathering, which we haven't really seen much of before. There's darker, more gritty color schemes, and the painting style has become more realistic in general and more lifelike, rather than something you'd see in a cartoon or fantasy illustration.
The ice is... what the... Whoa! Okay. I wasn't gonna pause on that one, but that one looks amazing too. Yeah, I was gonna say, this one like is very bold in the shadows and stuff. But whoa! Look at this guy. He got drip. Got like shiny, sparkly disco gear on. Oh, this is the Deceiver? Oh! You know, I would talk to this guy. He looks like he's got Riz. No wonder they got deceived by him. Yeah, Banana Man. Look at how sparkly and colorful he is. Well, at least his drip is. Yeah, looks very trustful.
This winning miniature from 2002, especially for me, feels like a step into a new generation of Golden Demon painting standards for the competition to come. It's realistic and gritty, sure, but it also demonstrates artistic creativity and free-handed detail on a whole new level.
Wait, I just noticed they painted like the stars in too. It's really nice. Yeah, he's very fabulous. Yeah. Oh, yeah, the model material and detail got better over time as well. The stars are really crazy. I like that.
Which is something we see more often than not in today's modern Golden Demon competitions. But what's the most crazy to me is that in the span of just 5 years, which at the time when the internet wasn't as prevalent as it is today, so trends don't come and go as quickly as they do nowadays, we see that bright and saturated 90s style all but disappear. In fact, by 2004, it's pretty much entirely been replaced with far more muted colors and realistically weathered paint jobs, which look almost modern. But one of my favorite things about this era is that we start to see some names winning their first Golden Demons, and those names will keep getting more and more familiar over the next 20 years.
All right, some famous artists.
Now, even though I'm wrong and time has moved on, I still consider the 2010s to be like modern Warhammer, and I still think that miniatures released in 2014 were released 5 years ago, and
I relate to that for like everything. It's like, oh yeah, this thing from like 2015, yeah, that was like a couple years ago, right? Yeah. Time has been zooming way too quickly. It's like, oh, 2018? That was like yesterday. Yeah, that was like, 2 years ago. Yeah, totally. And then I look at the calendar. I'm like, no, it wasn't. 2018 was like 7 years ago. What the fuck? Right? No, I don't want to think about this. No.
That kind of scares me. But this is the decade where I started to really get into Warhammer and miniature painting, and also when I started working for Games Workshop. But I think it's also when I remember Golden Demon entries starting to get really, really good. Like, really good. People are...
That's so cool she worked for Games Workshop, though. See, I didn't know that until you guys mentioned it earlier. Oh, that's awesome. The virus was over 5 years ago. What? I mean, I guess that makes sense because I became a VTuber during the virus and I'm approaching my 5-year anniversary, which is like freaking me out a little.
Taking this stuff seriously now and are aiming for gritty, high-end paint jobs and are less focused on things like banners, colors, and kit bashing. Now we have realistic rendering, battle damage, weather effects, and plinth.
I love the snow.
The 80s was about banners and kit bashing, the 90s bright colors and saturation, and the early 2000s about grim, dark, gritty realism, then I think the 2010s was the start of the rise in popularity of non-metallic metallics. Love them or hate them, this way of painting swords, armor, and just about everything you want to be shiny and
non-metallic metallics, is that like, is it an effect achieved through shading? Is that what it is? It does sort of look metallic, yeah, but I guess it's not. Is it sort of like the pre-shade we saw earlier? They use normal colors to make it look like metal. Oh, okay. It's witchcraft. Yeah, it's very much witchcraft to me. I'm like, whoa, what is this?
Want to be shiny and impressive looking really set the Warhammer painting world on fire. And as early as 2012, you can see the top...
Rat? There's a rat!
As 2012, you can see the top entries every single year, dabbling in them in some capacity. And I think it's this sudden interest in non-metallics which led into what kind of became the thing to do at Golden Demon. And it's hard to explain, and maybe someone in the comments section...
Yeah, you could tell like that gold on the staff it's holding, like that is not like that's not actual like a gold finish, but it looks like gold. Yeah, it's like, you guys are right, it's like how like cartoon artists would draw it. Yeah. That's so cool though. Yeah, rat from fantasy. I feel like I might like fantasy because I'm seeing a lot of things that, I like, and you guys keep telling me it's like, oh, that's from fantasy. Yeah, yellows and browns.
Who is smarter can do it better, but it's almost the idea of painting everything on your miniature to the 11th degree in a hyper-realistic and artistic manner. Like every single stone, belt buckle, and strand of hair on a miniature is painted with a light source, shading and highlights and some kind of effect, and it's like at this point people are painting full-on paintings onto their...
Whoa! The skin looks really good. Like the fleshy color scheme here. Fantasy is fun, but 40k is a favorite son. Oh, Warhammer Fantasy is honestly the best setting of all time. It just didn't sell well enough for GW to keep it around. That's so sad. Yeah, at least they brought back the dwarves in a different way. Yeah, I love dwarves. So I wanna not watch, but like, look into fantasy stuff. Fantasy has 2 dwarf factions and soon a chaos dwarf. Ooh, yeah, chaos, but dwarves.
Miniatures. I think that 2015 is a year where you can fully see this kind of thing come into play as the top 3 miniatures in the single miniature category start to go beyond just neat and clean realistic paint jobs. And they start to demonstrate that the artists taking part are really exerting themselves and their capabilities to create incredible effects and push the boundaries of a painted miniature. And as the competitions seem to get fiercer and fiercer...
Oh, wow, this looks really good. Like, it really looks like the brushed metal effect?
Every single year, so the participants
fleshy.
rose to the challenge laid down by their fellow artists, now in their hundreds all over the world. And at this time, it felt like
Wait, go back to that. I want to pause on all these because there's so much to look at. Yo, they like replicated like it's like mucus or like it's like watery stuff on it. Very slimy. That looks cool. Which kid is this? What is this one? Oh, such a good color scheme for chaos. Fantasy Noogle. Oh, I like his tentacle tiger stripes. Yeah. You can actually read a blog on how he painted and made this model. Okay. AOS?
Now in their hundreds all over the world. And
wait, what does AOS stand for? Also, damn, this looks cool.
It felt like every single year you'd turn up to Golden Demon and see
that's so
something
metal.
which would absolutely blow your mind and that you'd never thought would be possible on a Warhammer miniature. And I think it's...
Oh, Age of Sigmar. I keep forgetting about that. This is really cool. Like the fact that they don't use a whole lot of, I guess like they don't use like colorful colors, right? But like there's still so much depth and dimension to it.
It's this perfection of craft mixed with this spirit of competition, which has carried Golden Demon into where we find it now in the roaring 20s. Not those 20s, the other way, that way. So at this point, we are in the 2020s. Like, right now, we're in it. Welcome to now. And it kind of feels like the standard at Golden Demon couldn't possibly get any higher. I mean, just look at some of these winning entries from the last couple of years. Like, how could they possibly be improving on this? And I think the answer to how the Golden Demon winners are going to start improving on perfection is that they have started to expand their creativity outside of the bounds of the miniature itself. And that sounds weird and confusing, so let me explain. We all know.
Yeah, let me go back to this. I was looking at it and I was like, this literally looks like an illustration. Like, how is this a like IRL 3D figure? That's crazy. Yeah, it kind of, painting techniques like go such a long way. Like it kind of reminds me of how I've seen videos of like people repaint anime figures to make them look like more quote unquote 2D, and honestly like the illusion is insane. I cannot process how this is a mini. Yeah, there's like some illusions going on here. Isn't this model also small? Probably is. Yeah, like the pictures make it look like it's probably big, but yeah, wow. Oh yeah, you're right. It's a commended entry, not even like a winner. Wow.
We all know these guys can do non-metallics and insane freehanding, but what about resin pours conducted in science labs?
I didn't know there was resin on that one.
But what about resin?
Holy shit. Okay, when they showed it at the beginning, I already thought it looked insane, but she cropped it so I couldn't see the feet, right? I couldn't see below the knee. I didn't freaking know it was like standing in like something that looked like water. The base is insane. What the? What? There's a reflection one? What? Oh no, this is the reflection. Okay, I don't know. My mind is like, oh, there's a vampire one that it was just on. Okay. So you guys are talking about a different one. Okay.
Conducted in science labs.
Oh shit. I didn't even notice that.
Entirely doubled and inverted entries which create a mirror effect. Or impossible.
Wait, what? Wait.
Doubled and inverted entries.
My mind is like struggling to comprehend what's going on in this image. How is this displayed? Is the base like the mirror image? Is that what it is? It's the same model built twice. That's two models mirrored. Oh, that's two full minis. Wow. It's crazy. And this is last year's winner. Wow.
Which create a mirror effect, or impossible rendering on scenic dioramas, which look like they are straight from a video game, and incredible large-scale original miniatures and even busts.
So detailed. The face? How large is this? Oh, she said large scale. This looks like, I don't know, like CG from like a movie. Yeah, it's large. How large though? It's a bust, not a mini. I think 75mm scale bust. Oh, these busts have been banned, unfortunately, because GW doesn't make them. Oh, yeah, it looks like concept art. Yeah.
And incredible large-scale
Very detailed
original
face.
miniatures and even busts sculpted and painted by the participants themselves. We're currently in a Golden Demon timeline when we're seeing the participants going above and beyond just the miniature itself for their Golden Demon entries and starting to think of the entire pieces as opportunities to flex their creativity. And I think that this is particularly apparent, especially when it comes to the modern style of basing. Long gone are the days where just a plinth is considered to be fancy, because now these—
Whoa! Oh, wow. It's a whole diorama here. Buried. Look at the dirt looks so realistic. Oh my god, there's even a rat spotted. Oh. Yeah, rat sighting. And then like they have like a background with some like stuff painted in as well. So cool. Yeah, it's a death corpse pet rat. They look so cool.
Elaborate scenic sculpted and hand-painted backdrops are becoming more and more commonplace and popular amongst the top winners. And I've seen a lot of people online kind of saying they don't really like the way that Golden Demon is headed and that Golden Demon should primarily be a painting competition, so they would ban things like kit bash miniatures and resin pours and things like that so that the judges could just focus on the most important thing, which is the painting. But I personally really like this massive explosion of creativity that we've seen at Golden Demon recently, and it always has me so excited to see the next Golden Demon. So let me know in the comments section what your opinion is and how you would run the competition, and also what you think the next big Golden Demon meta will be. So to round up this little look back in time, and
I agree with her. I like getting to see like the new ideas people come up with, you know, like just to like kind of push the boundaries and stuff. And then there's like new metas.
to kind of highlight and celebrate how far some of these Golden Demon participants have come during their illustrious careers, we are going to use this fun little feature on the Golden Demon Compendium to take a look at some of my favorite winners' first miniatures and compare it to some of their latest. And I think that this may end up being my favorite part of—
They've been participating for such a long time.
Both the video and all of the research that I've done, because it's so important as creative people who are trying to improve our craft to remember that nobody gets good overnight and perfection can take decades. So sorry if this embarrasses any of you Golden Demon painters, because here we go.
Let's go! At first I thought that said Andy Warhol, and I was like, what is Andy Warhol doing here? If you want a pure no bias painting competition, Golden Demon isn't the right one. Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot more competitions out there. Maybe not as big as Golden Demon, but so colorful. Wait, so is the before on the left, I think, and the after's on the right? Honestly, these both look good in my opinion. I kind of like the multicolored effect on the tip of the tank on the left. I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about. Do I have my pointer somewhere? Oh, there we go. Right here. That. Yeah, I like that. Is it? Yeah, the burnt metal. Yeah. This is a nice touch. I really like that. Emuri dayon! Did you know that the clips here are all taken from my streams? So if you like to catch me real time or see everything, be sure to subscribe to my main channel! Please and thank you! Now sit back and enjoy the rest of the video! But yeah, I'm like, honestly, these both look good. It's called a heat bloom? Oh. Oh wow, he's been entering since 1999? Sheesh. Oh wow, fantasy. Oh, I love this one. I'm like, dwarves, let's freaking go. Not only one dwarf, there's 3 of them. Orcs. This guy was like, I love orcs. 2001, orc. 2024, another orc. Oh, now this one is such a crazy difference. Wow. And he's been entering since 1988. That's crazy. Oh, like you went from super, vintage looking kit to like, wow. Yeah, the rusty copper looks so good.
And with that uplifting bout of inspiration,
cool.
I'm afraid that's all we have time for today. As usual, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you for being rogues. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
That last one was crazy. Like, I can't even tell if it was, like, not high in the standards back then. Like, the one on the left. Yeah, good video, though. Loved it. I love seeing the comparisons at the end.